Have you ever felt your heart suddenly flutter, skip a beat, or pound a little too hard when you're trying to fall asleep? Many seniors experience moments like these, and they often whisper to themselves, "Is something wrong with my heart?" A patient of mine once told me she would lie still at night, afraid to move, because every thump felt louder than the one before. And I want you to imagine this. Picture yourself sitting in your favorite chair, the house quiet, the day settling, and your heart gives a strange jump that makes you catch your breath. It's a feeling that can be both confusing and frightening. If this sounds familiar, you are not alone. Heart palpitations after 60 are far more common than most people realize, and the hidden truth is that they are not always signs of a heart attack or a major emergency. Many of the causes are subtle, everyday factors that tens of millions of seniors deal with. Something as simple as dehydration can make the heart beat harder. A moment of worry can tighten your breathing. Low magnesium levels can make your heart more sensitive. Even digestive pressure from a late meal can send signals that feel like heart trouble. As we age, the heart becomes more reactive to these small triggers because the body's internal rhythms shift. Circulation naturally slows. Blood vessels become a bit stiffer. The electrical system that keeps the heart beating smoothly becomes more delicate. That's why a sensation you barely noticed at 30 or 40 can feel much stronger at 60 or 70. This matters deeply because many seniors try to ignore these sensations or dismiss them as nothing, when in reality, they may be early clues about arrhythmia, mineral imbalance, nighttime blood pressure changes, or stress your heart has been carrying quietly for years. In today's video, we're going to explore the hidden truth behind heart palpitations after 60, the warning signs that deserve attention, the overlooked causes even doctors often miss, and the simple steps you can take to calm your heart and protect your long-term health. Stay with me, and if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Senior Health Daily so we can continue this journey together, one steady heartbeat at a time. The hidden biology behind heart palpitations in seniors. As we begin exploring why heart palpitations become more common after 60, I want you to think of your heart as both a muscle and a messenger. It doesn't just pump blood. It responds to every shift happening inside your body. And with age, these responses become a little louder, a little more sensitive, and sometimes a little more confusing. That is why a flutter you barely noticed at 40 suddenly feels alarming at 70. One of the biggest biological changes seniors face is the natural slowing of electrical conduction in the heart. The electrical system becomes more delicate with age, and tiny interruptions that once went unnoticed can suddenly feel like skipped beats or sudden thumps. It doesn't mean your heart is failing, it means your heart is speaking more clearly than before. At the same time, oxygen flow gradually becomes less efficient. The lungs lose a bit of elasticity, the blood vessels lose some flexibility, and the heart has to work a little harder to keep everything balanced. When the body needs more oxygen but doesn't get it fast enough, even simple activities or small changes in posture can create brief moments of irregular rhythm. Another hidden factor is how the nervous system changes with age. Seniors often experience heightened nerve sensitivity. What used to feel like a tiny flutter now feels like a dramatic jolt because the nerves around the chest and diaphragm become more reactive. This is especially common at night when the body is quiet and the mind becomes more aware of internal sensations. Stress hormones also behave differently as we grow older. Cortisol rises more quickly and lingers longer, which can make the heart beat harder or faster, even when you don't feel outwardly stressed. I had a patient who struggled with palpitations every night for years. After reviewing her habits, we discovered the cause wasn't her heart at all. It was dehydration and shallow breathing that worsened every evening. Once she corrected these two simple things, her heart settled almost immediately. The biology of aging isn't about weakness, it's about awareness. And when you understand what's happening inside your body, the fear begins to fade and control returns. Cardiac causes. Now that we've explored the hidden biology behind heart palpitations in seniors, it's important to talk about the moments when the heart itself is the true source. Not every flutter is dangerous, but some deserve careful attention. Understanding the difference is how you protect your health without living in fear. As we age, the heart experiences very real structural and electrical changes. Conditions like angina, atrial fibrillation, and valve problems become more common after 60. Sometimes these issues develop slowly and quietly. AFib, for example, can start as occasional fluttering that disappears as quickly as it comes. Many seniors ignore it because it doesn't always feel painful, yet it's one of the most important rhythms to catch early, because early detection can prevent complications later. Nighttime is when many seniors notice their palpitations most intensely. When you lie down, blood redistributes throughout the body and the heart must adjust. If circulation is poor, or if the heart muscle is slightly enlarged, this shift can create a feeling of pounding or pressure. Some seniors describe it as their heart jumping, while others say it feels like a bird fluttering in the chest. These sensations matter because they often reveal how hard the heart is working when the body is trying to rest. High blood pressure is another factor that often goes unnoticed. Many seniors believe their blood pressure is stable simply because it was normal at their last appointment. What they don't realize is that nighttime blood pressure surges are extremely common after 60. These spikes can trigger intense palpitations that disappear by morning, leaving behind confusion instead of answers. What breaks my heart is how often older adults minimize these symptoms. They convince themselves it's just aging or nerves or something they should push through. Yet every year, I meet seniors who could have prevented serious issues simply by paying attention to these early signs. Listening to your heart is not an act of fear. It's an act of respect. And when you understand what your symptoms may be telling you, you give your heart the chance to heal and strengthen before problems grow. The most overlooked non-cardiac causes now. Let's talk about something that surprises many seniors. Not all heart palpitations actually come from the heart. In fact, some of the most common triggers have nothing to do with heart disease at all. These causes often go unnoticed because they grow quietly over time, blending into daily life, until one day the heart begins to respond with a little extra force or rhythm. One of the most misunderstood contributors is anxiety. Many older adults don't realize how deeply emotional stress affects their heartbeat. After 60, the body becomes more sensitive to cortisol, the stress hormone. When you worry, overthink, or hold your breath during a moment of tension, your heart reacts almost instantly. I've had countless patients convinced they were having cardiac episodes when in reality, their breathing had become shallow during a period of worry, creating a surge of adrenaline that felt frighteningly like heart trouble. Another major factor is electrolyte imbalance, especially low magnesium and potassium. These minerals help regulate the electrical activity of the heart. When levels drop even slightly, the heart can misfire and create fluttering sensations. Many seniors unknowingly become deficient due to diuretics, dehydration, low appetite, or digestive issues. Once these minerals were restored for some of my patients, their palpitations eased within days. Dehydration is equally powerful and equally underestimated. When the blood becomes thicker from lack of fluids, the heart must pump harder, and seniors feel the results quickly. A dry body creates a noisy heart. It's as simple as that. Poor breathing habits also play a role. Many seniors breathe high in the chest instead of deep into the diaphragm. This raises heart rate and activates the nervous system. A shallow breath can feel like a skipped beat, long before you consciously notice the tightness. Digestive pressure is another overlooked cause. Gas, bloating, and acid reflux can push upward on the diaphragm, crowding the heart and creating sensations that mimic cardiac distress. This is especially common after late dinners or heavy meals. Even medications contribute more than people realize. Decongestants, stimulants, and certain blood pressure drugs can trigger palpitations without warning. When we look beyond the heart itself, we uncover a world of hidden influences. And once seniors understand these non-cardiac causes, they begin to regain a sense of clarity, confidence, and control. Hidden lifestyle triggers seniors don't notice. As we look beyond the biological and emotional causes, I want to take you into an area that many seniors overlook completely: the small everyday habits that quietly push the heart into discomfort. These triggers often seem harmless because they slip into the rhythm of daily life. But for a heart over 60, they can create more strain than you might imagine. One of the most common is simply sitting too long. Many older adults spend extended time in one position, whether watching TV, reading, or resting in a comfortable chair. When the body stays still for too long, circulation slows dramatically. Blood begins to pool in the legs, the heart receives less feedback from active muscles, and suddenly the heart must beat harder to keep everything flowing. I've had patients tell me their palpitations begin the moment they stand up after hours of stillness, and that is because the heart is trying to catch up, not trying to warn them of something catastrophic. Hydration is another quiet trigger. Seniors often drink less water to avoid nighttime bathroom trips or because they simply don't feel thirsty. Yet even mild dehydration thickens the blood and forces the heart to beat with more effort. A heart that works harder becomes a heart you feel more intensely. Sleep posture can also be a surprising trigger. Many seniors sleep flat on their backs out of habit, but when the chest is compressed or the airway is not fully open, the body receives less oxygen and the heart compensates by speeding up. This is why some people wake suddenly with a pounding heart or notice palpitations the moment they lie down. Evening habits can play a powerful role as well. A late cup of coffee, a heavy meal, or emotional stress from the news can stimulate the nervous system long after the moment has passed. Quiet loneliness before bedtime can amplify every sensation, making the heart feel louder in the stillness of the night. These triggers aren't dramatic. They don't announce themselves with pain or warning. But they accumulate, creating patterns that the heart feels long before the mind recognizes them. And once seniors learn to spot these hidden triggers, they begin to reclaim control over their symptoms with confidence and calm. Nighttime palpitations, the silent warning. Among all the moments seniors experience heart palpitations, nighttime is the one that brings the most fear. There's something about the stillness of the evening, the quiet of the bedroom, the way the world softens, that makes every sensation inside the body feel louder. And many seniors find that their heart begins to flutter, pound, or skip, just as they're trying to settle into rest. If this has ever happened to you, I want you to know you are not imagining it. There are real reasons this happens, and none of them are your fault. When the sun goes down, your body begins shifting into a different rhythm. Blood pressure naturally changes, hormones release more slowly, and the heart becomes more sensitive to the signals inside the chest. Lying flat redistributes blood throughout the body, making the heart work a bit harder to adjust. If circulation is already a little sluggish, or if you've been sitting most of the day, the heart may respond with a sudden jump or irregular rhythm as you lie down. Breathing also plays a major role at night. Shallow breathing is extremely common in older adults, especially after long periods of inactivity. When you lie down without fully opening your lungs, the body receives less oxygen, and the heart instinctively speeds up to compensate. Many seniors mistake this response for a heart attack, when really it's the body asking for a deeper breath. Evening habits can quietly influence nighttime palpitations. A heavy dinner can push up on the diaphragm and irritate the heart. A late coffee or chocolate can leave stimulants lingering in your system. Emotional stress from the news or a difficult conversation can leave your body in a heightened state of alert long after the moment has passed. That's why creating a gentle, heart-friendly evening routine can bring incredible relief. Soft lighting, a quiet room, slow stretching, warm hydration, and a calm mind give the heart the environment it needs to settle. Nighttime palpitations are not always warnings of danger. Often they're your body's way of saying, "Please help me unwind." When seniors understand the pattern behind these nighttime sensations, fear turns into understanding, and understanding turns into peace. Supplements that help calm the heart. By the time many seniors reach the point of experiencing daily or nightly palpitations, they often ask me whether supplements can make a real difference. And the truth is, for many older adults, the right supplements can feel like offering the heart a long breath of relief. They don't replace medical care, and they're not magic, but they support the body in ways that become increasingly important after 60, especially when the heart is working a little harder than it used to. Magnesium is one of the most powerful and underestimated helpers. It's like a calming friend for the nervous system. When magnesium levels dip, the heart becomes more reactive, the muscles around the chest tighten more easily, and the rhythm can feel jumpy. Seniors lose magnesium more quickly due to medications, reduced absorption, and stress. I've seen patients go from nightly palpitations to quiet, steady evenings simply by restoring their levels. Omega-3 fatty acids are another essential support. They reduce inflammation inside the blood vessels and help stabilize heart rate. For seniors who feel fluttering after meals or during stressful moments, omega-3s often bring a gentle steadiness, almost like smoothing the edges around each beat. CoQ10 supports the energy production inside heart cells. As we age, the heart becomes more dependent on this nutrient, especially for seniors taking statins. Low CoQ10 often shows up as fatigue, shortness of breath, or palpitations after mild activity. Once restored, many patients feel a renewed sense of endurance. Vitamin D3 and K2 work together to keep the arteries flexible and responsive. When these vitamins are low, the vessels become stiffer, and the heart has to pump harder. Bringing these levels up gives the heart room to breathe again. Electrolytes also play a quiet but vital role. A little extra potassium through food or proper hydration with balanced minerals can calm the electrical impulses of the heart and ease fluttering sensations that once felt overwhelming. Every supplement must be used with awareness, especially when medications are involved. But when chosen carefully, these supports help the heart feel balanced, steady, and less reactive to the stresses of everyday life. Senior-friendly techniques to reduce palpitations. Now that we've explored the nutrients that support a calmer heart, let's talk about the everyday practices that help your body steady itself from the inside out. These techniques may look simple on the surface, but for seniors, they can shift the entire internal environment in ways that make the heart feel safer and more supported. One of the most effective tools is diaphragmatic breathing. Many older adults take shallow breaths without even noticing. When breathing stays high in the chest, the nervous system becomes alert and tense, and the heart speeds up to match that tension. By placing a hand on the belly and gently allowing each inhale to expand the lower abdomen, seniors can activate the body's natural relaxation pathways. Within 30 to 60 seconds, the heartbeat often begins to ease. Posture is another hidden player in heart rhythm. When the shoulders round forward or the upper back becomes stiff, the chest tightens, the diaphragm strains, and oxygen flow becomes restricted. A simple posture reset, such as rolling the shoulders back or gently opening the chest while sitting, can create enough space for the heart to beat more freely. Warm compresses placed on the chest or upper back can soothe tight muscles and calm the nervous system. Many of my older patients describe the feeling as if their heart finally has room to slow down again. Gentle evening walks are powerful too. They encourage smooth circulation, release stored tension, and help regulate blood pressure before bed. Even 5 minutes can shift the heart from alert mode to rest mode. Hydration timing also matters. A glass of water earlier in the evening supports blood volume and reduces nighttime strain, while avoiding excessive drinking right before bed prevents disruptions that can trigger adrenaline spikes. And most importantly, small lifestyle habits done consistently carry the heart through the night more peacefully. Dim lights, quiet moments of reflection, soft stretching, and soothing routines help the nervous system settle. When the body winds down intentionally, the heart no longer feels like it must fight for balance. These techniques are gentle. They are simple. But for the heart, they are powerful signals that say, "You are safe now." When palpitations are dangerous. As comforting as it is to understand the many harmless reasons behind palpitations, it's equally important to recognize the moments when the body is asking for immediate attention. Palpitations themselves are not always dangerous, but the context around them can reveal situations where your heart is working harder than it should, or where something deeper needs evaluation. One of the clearest signals is when palpitations come with chest pain, especially if that pain feels tight, heavy, or radiates into the arm, jaw, or back. Many seniors try to brush these sensations aside, telling themselves it's indigestion or fatigue. But the body rarely whispers without a reason. When palpitations pair with pain, it's your heart saying, "Please don't ignore me." Another warning sign is palpitations accompanied by dizziness, lightheadedness, or a sensation that you might faint. These symptoms suggest the heart is struggling to maintain stable blood flow to the brain. Even if the feeling passes quickly, it should never be dismissed. Loss of consciousness, even for a moment, is always a red flag. Seniors often try to rationalize it, blaming dehydration or standing up too fast. But fainting connected to palpitations is something we always take seriously in medicine, because it may indicate an electrical rhythm issue that needs prompt attention. Palpitations that arise during light activity should also be evaluated. For example, if your heart suddenly races when walking across a room or performing simple chores, that is your body signaling strain. Sometimes this points to anemia, thyroid imbalance, or heart rhythm issues that can be treated effectively when caught early. The goal here is not to create fear. It's to empower you with clarity. When you understand which symptoms deserve respect, you protect yourself from uncertainty and give your doctors the information they need to support your long-term health. Remember this simple guideline. If something feels new, intense, or out of proportion to your activity, it deserves attention. Your heart is not trying to frighten you, it is trying to guide you. Stories of hope and recovery. As we reach the end of this main section, I want to share a few stories that still stay with me after all these years. These aren't dramatic medical miracles. They are quiet reminders of how resilient the heart truly is, and how much power seniors have to influence their own well-being, even after symptoms feel overwhelming. One woman I cared for believed her palpitations meant her heart was failing. Every evening, her chest would flutter until she felt afraid to go to bed. After spending time together, we discovered her palpitations were coming from years of carrying unspoken anxiety. She had been holding her breath without realizing it. Through gentle breathing practices and small emotional shifts, her heart began to settle. She later told me it felt like she reclaimed nights she thought she had lost forever. Another senior came to me exhausted, convinced he needed medication because his heart was jumping every afternoon. His tests were normal, yet his symptoms persisted. When we reviewed his hydration and nutrition, the real cause revealed itself. He was severely low in magnesium and potassium due to a diuretic prescribed years earlier. After replenishing his minerals, those palpitations faded into a quiet memory. I remember a gentleman who had nightly pounding that woke him from sleep. He assumed it was heart disease, but the true culprit was acid reflux pushing against his diaphragm. With simple changes in meal timing, posture, and digestion support, his heart rhythm returned to ease. And then there was the case that saved a life. A woman who ignored fluttering for months finally sought help when her palpitations grew stronger. What we discovered was early atrial fibrillation. Because we caught it in time, she avoided a stroke and went on to live an active life she feared she might lose. These stories remind us that palpitations are not just symptoms. They are conversations between you and your body. Sometimes they whisper, sometimes they insist, but they always reveal something meaningful. Your heart is not giving up, it is reaching out. As we come to the end of our time together, I want to leave you with a feeling of calm and clarity. Heart palpitations after 60 can be unsettling, but they are not punishments. They are signals, gentle invitations from your body asking you to pause, pay attention, and listen with compassion. You are not alone in this experience, and you are certainly not imagining what you feel. Your body is communicating with you, and learning to understand those messages is a form of strength, not weakness. Take a moment to think about everything your heart has carried for you. Every joy, every worry, every celebration, every loss. It has walked with you through all the chapters of your life without rest. And now, it simply needs softer support. Not fear, not panic, just gentler care and a little more presence. When you choose to breathe deeply, when you sip water throughout the day, when you unwind before bed, you are offering your heart small acts of gratitude. And those small acts matter. They create real change. Seniors often believe improvement requires something dramatic, but the truth is that the heart responds beautifully to subtle, thoughtful habits. A better evening routine, a moment of calm before sleep, a shift in posture, a mindful breath. These tiny steps add up and help the heart feel steadier and safer. Please hold on to hope. At 60, 70, 80, and beyond, your heart still has incredible capacity to heal and adapt. It is never too late to support it. It is never too late to feel better than you do today. Your heart is still listening, and every small step you take today shapes a stronger tomorrow. If this message brought you comfort or clarity, I invite you to subscribe to Senior Health Daily so we can continue this journey together, one steady, confident heartbeat at a time.